Wow, what a day, guys. Hey, did you get any of that Intel trade? Intel, a computer chip company? Tell you what, you heard it here first. All right, so I've been talking about mentioning Intel over the last several weeks. Intel had traded above $50 a share and then 55 and was getting traction. Today, the earnings for the artificial intelligence, and then we get the breakout pump on Intel, advanced micro devices. The computer chip trade is back on in tech for the artificial intelligence and quantum computing stocks. So look, it's the reason that you want to subscribe, follow my channel, because I give you free alpha, and it's not financial advice. I've been at this game of trading and speculation as a quant trader since 1987. So a lot of experience, and also called a nice short on Avis. Stock had a parabola and pumped, and again, it's just informational purposes only. But today is Friday, April 24th, 2026. A lot of great news to go over today. Markets are heating up. The DOJ drops investigation on federal chair Jerome Powell. So we got a new Fed chair possibly coming in with Warsh. The U.S. Attorney Jenny Pirro said the DOJ is handing over the matter to the Fed's internal watchdog. So, we'll see. Consumer at record low. Americans are feeling the impact of the war. Price of fuel is above $4 a gallon. The NASDAQ jumps amid AI boom as stocks open up mixed. My goodness. Warsh wants the Fed to adopt a new approach to inflation. Intel just cleared, oh my goodness, Intel just cleared its dot-com era ceiling. We got a breakout in Intel, folks. Advanced Micro Devices, the same thing. Meta to buy Graviton chips from Amazon as CPU sales soar. So adjust the camera here a little bit. So this is, it's exciting times, folks, in the AI space. Trump says gas prices could be high for a little while. And so there's a lot of news on Trump, and, a lot of news going on with the Persian Gulf and Iran. NEO bets on in-house chips to cut reliance on NVIDIA. So NEO stock and NVIDIA stocks pumping up 5% today. Advanced Micro Devices again jumps to a record high on upgrade. Intel results, stock buybacks stay hot. So companies are investing, in their own shares. The dollar swap line takes on ongoing with Gulf and Asian partners, with Besant. Spirit Airlines nearing rescue deal. The government's going to do a bailout, too big to fail, on JetBlue and news on it. We need good quality transportation and infrastructure here in the U.S. U.S. chip makers hit record highs as Intel turbocharges the AI rally. Artificial intelligence pivot for Intel going, it takes time for companies like Intel to gear up and to redesign and re-engineer products, and they've been able to pull that off masterfully. So Intel, Oklo stock pays to close out the week with gains. NVIDIA again. Consumer rebounds slightly after hitting low level on record. So hedge funds launched by Instacart founder has AI call process. Wow. So I just look at the news here every day on the geopolitics. S&P 500's up about 32 points. The Dow's flat. The Nasdaq's up about 1% on the chip pump. Russell 2000 up. The VIX off about 3.5%. Gold 47.46. The Bitcoin is trading wallets at around 77,763. Crude oil's at 94.88. So this is what's being reported on Yahoo Finance. Kind of adjust the camera here a little bit. So guys, tell me, what do you think? Did you get any of the advanced micro device trade or Intel? So trending tickers, Intel, again, Advanced Micro Devices, Qualcomm, Bitcoin, USD, BTC, USD, and the Procter and Gamble company, PG. So this is what we got there. Now let's take a look at what's going on in the stock market. If you stay with me to the end, like I said, I'd give you free alpha and go over my trading plan on my trading desk as a quant trader and say, well, where's the trade? Where do we go with the capital? So in looking at this, let's look at bar chart real quick. So bar chart is reporting a lot of the same news here. NVIDIA is active, Advanced Micro Devices, Intel, Tesla is active on the earnings, Micron Technology, and then SanDisk approaching $1,000 a share. Stock supported by Intel's blowout earnings and Iran peace talk optimism. Norfolk Southern profit fell 27%. So didn't collect big insurance payments from Ohio derailment. So a lot of news on infrastructure. Tech stocks rise on mostly subdued Wall Street, while oil prices keep swinging. South Korea. So we got news on South Korea. Warren Buffett tops out our AI carbon capture watch list. Cybersecurity, stocks, Advanced Micro Devices. Again, I'm reading the news on my news desk here. Palantir, news on it. GitLab deepens ties with AWS, with Amazon. So this is what we have on the bar chart. Stock of the day on bar chart is MCOR, stock symbol EME. Looks like a new 52-week high for MCOR. Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP, Solana. Ethereum looks the most oversold. I've been backing the truck up purchasing Ethereum over the last 6 weeks is less than $2,000 for Ethereum, but it still looks technically oversold. So that's what we have. A lot of news though, exciting times here. Now I look at the news headlines and then I formulate a plan. Recently, top gainers, stock symbol, company Max Linear, up 85%. Might be time to sell some calls there at $65 calls, just out of the money. Poet Technologies up huge, up 30%, breaking out. Intel, again, up 24%. Organon, we've been talking about that stock share here, been very volatile, up about 21%. And Sentinel Technologies up 14%. Now the biggest losers, I look at these every day to say, well, where's the price action? Liberty Broadband off 24%. Charter Communications dipping off 24%. Stone Company, STNE off 16%. And York Space Systems off about 6%. So I look at selling puts on the biggest losers and then selling calls on the biggest gainers every day. And where's the liquidity? Now here's the most active stocks. We've mentioned these before earlier in the video, but Intel, NVIDIA is breaking out today. Huge pump on NVIDIA. Nokia, again, very actively traded. Quantum Space, QS stock symbol, active. And again, Poet Technologies. So, I formulate a trading plan based on this, and I look at the geopolitics. It allows me to get dialed into the stock market and capital markets and looking at, the political news, socioeconomic news, earnings season we have now. So, how do I thrive in this type of environment? So I don't run commercials on my channel, but my channel's monetized so well for me on YouTube. I want to say hi to all my Twitter followers and on Rumble also too. You can follow me on Rumble and Twitter. Please like and share, and getting a lot of traction on Twitter, on X. So I just published an ebook you can read for free. It's called Deep Learning Unveiled, Unleashing the Power of Artificial Neural Networks, Kindle edition. Are you ready to master the technology behind self-driving cars, personalized recommendations, and natural language AI? My ebook titled Deep Learning Unveiled it takes you on a hands-on journey into the world of deep learning, a powerful subset of machine learning that's transforming every industry. Check out the links below. Deep Learning Unveiled. It's for the artificial intelligence. So I'm considered one of the world's leading experts in AI, if not the world's leading expert in the artificial intelligence. I mean, my first computer science class was 1980, where I took binary language. So it dates me. I'm old school. Then I learned basic language and Cobalt and Fortran and DBase. And so all these old computer science classes that I took many years ago. And then, so I've got a lot of experience as the world's leading expert in deep learning. So check out the links below. So more on that. So where do we trade? Where do we put our capital? Now again, you read the risk disclaimers there. I'm not a financial advisor. My whole channel is just information. So, all right, dollar cost average today. Here's my trading plan. So let's look again at Yahoo Finance. And I know there's nothing new under the sun. It's repetitive every day. So let's look at some of the stocks that are the most active. S&P's up, trending, Intel, Advanced Micro Devices, Qualcomm, and Max Linear. So, I look at these option premiums and see where's the pump, where's the Greeks as far as the greatest premiums to be had. So let's look at this real quick. All right, Intel. Time to sell some calls on Intel. So I've been nibbling on Intel shares and talking about it, as you know, for the last several weeks. Big premiums on Intel. So let's look at it. I do my research for myself live on my trading desk. And so let's take a look at this. Intel. INTC is a stock symbol. Huge pump today. And so this is why, you want to stay with me and follow my channel. I give free training on how to earn a living trading and speculation in stock shares and in crypto and Forex and precious metals. Intel. Look at the stocks at 82.62, up 24%. Options expire on May 1, on May Day. So just out of the money calls on Intel, the 83 strike is up 500%. The high today is $5.35, huge volume. So I might, purchase some more Intel stock at 82.75 and then sell the call, up 500%. Intel, AMD, the same thing there. Advanced Micro Devices. I do my live trades here on my trading desk. And I'll adjust the camera here so you can see. AMD, another breakout, up 15%. So I open the option montage on AMD. The just out of the money calls on Advanced Micro Devices are up about 1,200. The 350 strike is up about 1,200%. So that's a nice premium. So huge volume on Advanced Micro Devices. How high can AMD go? The answer is it could go to $1,000 a share. So it's time, I'll purchase some AMD stock and then sell the call and then look at the puts as a protective collar. So the puts are just getting, like looking out of the money put on AMD. The 330 puts way out of the money are off 80%. So I could sell the call, and then buy the stock shares and then buy a protective put. Qualcomm active at $144. QCOM. So the chips are just rocking and rolling, computer chips and then artificial intelligence chips. Qualcomm pumps today at the open to $152. Huge premiums there to be had to, selling the calls on Qualcomm. So just out of the money calls on Qualcomm at the 146 strike is up about 500%. That's amazing. Bitcoin is doing awesome. And then Max Linear, stock symbol MXL. MXL. Max Linear. Stock's up huge today, up 80%. So it's new breakout, the high. So let's look at the options. I don't know if they're producing options yet. Yeah, it's a new breakout for that stock. So, the options, some of the options are up 1,500%, like the $50 calls. And the $47 calls are up 14%. So that's a nice trade to sell those premiums. Let's look at liquidity. Trading 92 cars today. High, it's offered at 18 spot 30. So selling, buying the stock shares on MaxL on the breakout and then selling the call. So what other shares? Again, Sasol is off. Let's see, Top Gainers, Poet Technologies, Intel. So these are all shares, MaxL, Poet Technologies, Intel, Organon Company, OGN. Let's look at the options there. Yeah, I know I'm old school, but I've been trading at this game, man, since '87. I worked on Wall Street early in my career as a quant trader. Organon. So let's see. Call options up huge. The $11 strike on Organon. They're up 300%. And then again, Advanced Micro Devices. Now the top losers, like Liberty Broadband, I might sell a put there. Let's see, LBRDK. Liberty Broadband, stock's tanking off 22%. So let's look at the puts. The puts, I'm sure, are up huge. So I do opposite of everyone else. People are trying to buy the dip in the stock. I'm a seller. I'm selling a put premiums. They expire 15 May. So the puts are up, just out of the money puts are up 200%. So Charter Communications. So this is me doing my live trades. CHTR, Charter Communications. Time to sell a put? We shall see. Got a lot of news on the geopolitics, the saber rattling in the Middle East, and then all of the Iran and North Korea and South Korea. Charter Communications at a new low for the day, off about 22%. So let's look at the puts. $189 stock, tanking. Calls are off huge. And then the puts are up. Outrageous. The 190 strike is up 62,000% on the puts. Just out of the money put, the 185s are up 38,000%. So let's see if there's big liquidity there. It's just unreal when these stocks, when they peel off like this, the premiums on the price retracement, the premiums go like this, and this. Look at this 185 strike on Charter, CHTR. Previous close was a penny, and the high today is $5.69. So Charter Communications, time to sell a put and then buy a put. Go long the stock. We shall see, or short it. It's never too high to buy, never too low to sell. So. And the options expired, next Friday. So that's the news. And then what else? Comcast. Comcast is off. Might sell a put there. Looking at Comcast, CMC SA is a stock symbol on Comcast. Have to pay my cable bill. So time to sell a put on Comcast. Yeah, we got earnings season, so let's get, stocks react. We get a lot of the earnings plays. So puts on Comcast. Looking at Comcast puts, the stock's off 8%. So I just do my own research for myself, and then how can I monetize these trades in order to remain relevant? So purchase in advanced micro devices. The puts on Comcast, look at this, they're up. The stock's at $29. Just out of the money put is up 150%. So that's what we have. Extraordinary times. So this is where the price action is, and the computer chip trade. So, what do we have here? So I go into then looking at my trading plan for the day. So, okay, I'm at a dollar cost average Bitcoin today. Had a huge pumpity pump in Bitcoin up from 66,000. A dollar cost average Bitcoin, SPY ETF, the blockchain ETFs, BKCH, that's up 25% in the last month. I dollar cost averaged all through that, and then block, BLOK. So that's what we have. That's my trading plan for today, plus selling put premiums on the greatest gainers and greatest losing stocks in order to try to monetize some option premium. So that's what we have. Again, check out my ebook there. And I say this every day too. I give thanks for my abundant supply now manifested. I have it now. So I got to check the weather too on weathermist.com. It's dry here in North Florida. Worst drought conditions in 14 years. All right, so here in North Florida where I'm at, and we've had huge tornadoes going through Oklahoma and Kansas here recently. So you got to use this app, weathermist.com. 79 degrees, clear skies, but it feels like 83. 49% humidity, 4 mile per hour wind. The UV index is at 5.95, no rain. Stay hydrated during warm weather. So check out weathermist.com, and it's an agentic AI app. It's meteorology in your pocket, and it updates dynamically, so there's no latency. So I designed that app. It's just amazing. So with that, everyone, that's what I have for today. The news story is oil market, peace in the Middle East, Intel, artificial intelligence, Meta or Facebook is announcing huge layoffs. What are all the people going to do who work for Meta when they get laid off? They work for these big tech companies, and now, they're all pivoting into AI, into the artificial intelligence. So we shall see. If you've been displaced by AI, let me know. Leave some comments down below. How are you guys going to survive? Do you invest in the industry? What do you do to survive the downturn? And then, see, you're not. The saying is, you're not going to lose your job to AI. You're going to lose your job or work function to those who know how to use the AI. So I'm a leading expert in the artificial intelligence. So that's why you can check out my links below on my ebook on deep learning and machine learning and large language models that are used on the artificial intelligence. And they all use computer chips like from Intel and advanced micro devices and NVIDIA. So that's where it's at. So I try to remain relevant. I run it about 25 minutes, but tell me what you guys think. Did you get any of that Intel trade? You heard it here first. AMD, advanced micro devices, the chip trade is on, and quantum computing stocks and quantum computing chip stocks. So that's what I have. Running 25 minutes. I know my videos are unedited, everyone, but tell me what you think. Is advanced micro devices going to go to $1,000 a share? Intel, is it going to go to $1,000 a share? Advanced Micro Devices in 2008 was a penny stock. Same thing with NVIDIA. So here we go again. Thanks, everyone. Have a super great day. The trend is your friend. Thanks.